This is going to be a video on how to change your spark plugs on a W221 S550 4MATIC. This should work for all V8s for the S550 and E550 line. First thing you do is make sure the engine's off, open your hood, and then we'll start removing the engine cover. So take the top portion off, place that aside. From there we're going to carefully unhook each intake hose. Go ahead and move those out of the way, as well as the oil relief. There we go. At the back, there's a clamp. I'm going to go ahead and release that clamp. And from there, we're going to remove this air cover. Be careful, it is plastic, and we don't want to pay a few $100s just because we cracked a plastic piece. So we're going to go ahead and lift up. And then you'll see right there you have the coil packs, and we'll go ahead and okay, so let's go ahead and go to one of the first spark plugs right here in this cylinder. So as you can see, this coil pack is held by two T30 Torx screws. We're going to go ahead and unscrew those, and then from there you'll be able to gently pull it out. And so make sure when you're done screwing to pull these screws out by hand so you don't end up dropping them when you pull this coil pack out. So with those out of the way, go ahead and pull this out. And it just slides right out. And there's your spark plug. And so we'll go ahead and take wrench with a 5/8 spark plug socket. I have an extension just to have more than enough room to be able to comfortably pull this out. And let's go ahead and stick it in and pull it out. So it's going to have a little tension. You're just going to. And so once I use both hands to loosen it a bit, I'm just going to go ahead and unscrew the rest of it out. And so when we're done screwing it out, let's go ahead and pull it out. And there it is. And then we'll go ahead and replace it with a new spark plug. And so with the new spark plug back in the socket, and I went ahead and put some anti-seizing grease on there. Specifically use Thread Magic Anti-Seize. I'm going to go ahead and stick it back in. So you're going to be careful. Just try to get it in there. And it's pretty simple. From there, then you're just going to go ahead and tighten it, screw it right back in. And we're going to make sure it's snug. Not too much as to strip it, but just enough to know that it's definitely tight in there. Pull that out. And then we're going to go ahead and reinstall the coil pack. And make sure those holes line up, and then we're going to go ahead and reinstall those screws right there and right down there, and we'll be done with that cylinder. We'll make sure that one's tight, and then we'll finish screwing this top one in, and we're done with that one. Okay, so once we've finished every cylinder, 4 here and the 4 on the other side, let's go ahead, before we put the engine cover and the air filter box back on, let's do a little quality control and make sure that every screw is nice and tight. Okay, and then after you do that, let's go ahead and move to putting that air box back on. So let's grab the back portion, which contains the air filter housing, and let's go and secure it in place. Now keep in mind, you have to make sure that this bottom hole matches to the mass airflow sensor. Okay, and to be very careful with this part because it is plastic, and so they're very delicate and very expensive to replace because it is a Mercedes. So let's go ahead and make sure that's snugly over there. and then we'll go from there. So once we got the box on, we can make sure that that bottom hole right here in the end, it matches up snugly with the mass airflow sensor. Let's go ahead and put that clamp back on and pat it down, make sure it's in place. And then from there, we're gonna go ahead and reconnect this tube right here for excess oil runoff, and put that right there. And then we're gonna go and take our intake air tubes and go ahead and reattach them, the left side and the right side. So you're gonna wanna start with this side. We're gonna take the tube and we're gonna connect it at this point right here and a point down there, right down there. So first off, we're gonna go ahead and sit the tube in a bit. Gently but firmly, with intent, place that tube back in. So go ahead and set that in, make sure it's locked there. And down here, make sure this is connected, because this connects to this front portion where it takes in air. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and secure the other side as well. Make sure that's locked in there. Make sure everything is nice and snug the way the factory put it, so we have less of a chance for anything to go wrong. So then we'll take the second piece, which is the engine cover, and we'll go ahead and match this snap with this hole, etc., and so forth. So we're going to go ahead and flip that over, make sure the lines match. We're just going to push into place, and there you go. You've just replaced your spark plugs.